Wednesday. Welcome to Native Wellness Institute. We are in New Mexico. Ooh, it just snowed at the top of the Sandias. Oki, Nistu, Nidonico, Makoyo, Sakoi, Nistu, Sixakatapi, as I've said, the Blackfoot Confederacy. This is my 5th day of my vacation. So, what the heck am I doing working? I'm one of those weirdos. My work life, my personal life, my sobriety life, my recovery life, they're not separate. Isn't that a weird idea? How you like my pin? And white supremacy. Woohoo! And white supremacy. This is Janet King's pin. She wasn't brave enough to wear it when she was alive. We lost her during COVID. So I asked her if I could wear it, and if she ever got brave enough to wear it, I would give it back to her. So even though she's good, hey Janet, we can't see you. She's in the afterworld, Sand Hills, but I'm wearing your pin because I love your pin, Janet King. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. We thought, wow, all over the globe, how many people in Ukraine are celebrating Thanksgiving? We thought, oh, how many people in Russia are celebrating Thanksgiving? How many people in Australia are celebrating Thanksgiving? How many people in Peru are celebrating Thanksgiving? How many people in Antarctica are celebrating Thanksgiving? You get the point. So, but in America, in America, we are celebrating tomorrow. I mean, like, people are wild. I saw them driving in the streets, getting in wrecks, trying to get a turkey that's thawed already. Not a frozen one. Did you know you can't get a frozen turkey and get it ready by tomorrow, right? Anyway, welcome to Native Wellness, Wellness Wednesday, where I was positive, productive, and proactive. And I just kind of feel goofy because I've been on vacation for 5 days. What does that mean? What does that mean when you're on vacation? For me, and I can only speak, it means that I get to do what I want, not what other people want. Hey, I'm like that all the time. It means that, oh God, I talked to you last week. I bought 8 books. I only brought 2 with me, with intentions of reading those 2 books, okay? One is Colonize This, and it's about all women who are darker than a paper bag, their story and what they think about feminism. And right after 9/11, and then they have 19 news stories. So I haven't got to the 19 news stories of women of color, BIPOC, of Latina, Chicana. It's called Colonize This. Anyway, I was thinking, hey, badass auntie, I got my Netsitapi. I got all this. I'm here in my. I got this at the pawn shop in Billings. It's my coup jacket because it probably belonged to someone that had a hard time and they hawked it. And I came in and my coup story is I bought it. It's kind of like an Indian thing. You go to secondhand stores, you get all kinds of. So, what does it mean to be on vacation and what does Thanksgiving? What does it mean to me? So, it took me 3 days before I could sleep in. Oh, because the first morning I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to get the 6:30 a.m. flight. And then you land and everyone wants me to be the badass auntie and they take you out to dinner and they do all this. And next thing you've been up for 20 hours and they're saying, tell me a joke. Hey, right? Okay, so now today I woke up at 8. I woke up at 6:30 like I usually do, yesterday too. And then I crawled over and I pushed my earplugs so I wouldn't hear anything. Oh, and I'm sleeping Well, I have my little nephews because we got all our family here. And this is a big house. There's several places, bedrooms, bathrooms. But anyway, I feel comfortable where my little nephews sleep because they have stars. They put lights and there's stars up on the ceiling, and there's soft meditative music all night long. And so I rolled over and I said, please, it's Jabatapi. No Gaikimoket, no Gospelmoket. Pity me, help me. Could I sleep one more hour? Yes, I went back to sleep and woke up at 8. Boom. So so what else does self-care? I went and I was gonna get my aura read because I just had my tarot cards read for a whole year. I was gonna get my aura read. But then when you're here and you live here, you have to get stuck in traffic before you go anywhere. And I'm a Babylonian. I'm from Montana. I don't get stuck in traffic. There ain't no traffic. So you get stuck in traffic. There's different energy. And then I went to a place I never go to, the mall. I don't. Anyway, you know, shoot, our mall. Anyway, we won't go there. Went to the mall, and then there was this beautiful place with all kinds of obsidian and rocks and medicine and there was supposed to be, and they said it was two spirit, but you know, I sometimes ask people, are they two spirit? And they say, I don't know. You know, people, they don't have no gaydar. They can't tell Jack. And Badass Auntie has good gaydar. So I wanted to meet this quote because everybody's aura that he's read has helped their life. When he can see the colors and see what your destiny is and what you're supposed to do, he gives you like this 15-page printout that what he reads of your colors and your aura will help you in your life. So that's what I do on my vacation. Plus, I decided I'm not going to be as strict with my diet because I realize I'm not going to be as strict. But I tried to eat. Oh God, it was my friend's birthday, and we both are the same age. And I tried to eat a piece of cake, and I took 2 bites, and it was whatever, it went on my mouth, and it went, and my body was saying, "Oh hell no, your A1C will not remain at 6 if you eat this kind of shit." Oh, sorry for cussing, but that's what my body said. But I was trying to be polite, so I pretended like they were eating the cake, and then I put the napkin over it, and I threw it in the trash. Don't tell them, because I can't eat that kind of stuff. So that's part of my self-care. So I wanted to. We have a special guest. I came to New Mexico, and it's a surprise special guest. And so our special guest is going to share with us. And but 5 minutes before we bring him on, and you warm enough? You good? You good?
I could use another jacket, but I'm cool.
Okay, so what the wind is blowing. It is a little bit chilly. I want to tell you a story, and this story is a Napi story. And this story will help you and your family, your tribe, your sovereignty, your social justice, your consciousness starting now, but especially after January 20th, okay? So again, you know, sometimes I hear these stories and I have to, you know, I'll be 69 pretty soon. I have to like grab them. And so I'm just going to go with what I know, having heard the story several times. So this story is about Napi. And Napi, for Siksikatepi, the Blackfoot Confederacy, is our trickster. He has everything for life for us. So Napi, this was after he tried to steal the sun's leggings that he only used for hunting. So this is after that. So Napi, again, it was getting cold like this. The snow was falling. It was autumn. The colors had changed. and it was going to be winter soon. So what does Napi do? He hadn't hunted, he hadn't got ready. So he he decides to take his little brother Kit Fox. So Napi grabs his little brother Kit Fox and they go out to hunt. And as they went out, they were like at Red Deer River, Little Bow River. They couldn't find nothing, and there was snowflakes, and he was getting hungry. He was starving, and so was his little brother Kit Fox. And right when they were just about to maybe throw in the towel or give up, they looked over this ridge, and they looked down, and there was 4 bull buffalo, or eni. Blackfoot's call buffalo eni. We don't Tatanka, that kind of stuff. Anyway, eni, 4 bull buffaloes were down in the valley. So Napi, he gets back because he's always trying to be sneaky. He's back over the ridge, and he's trying to think really fast, kind of like how we're trying to think really fast, like, who won? Oh my God. Trying to think really fast. And so he comes up with this idea, and so was Kit Fox. He was trying to come up with an idea because they were starving. So he says, Kit Fox, why don't you let me pull all your hair except for the tip of your tail and go up on the ridge and just act crazy, dance, do all your antics until they start laughing, and then dance more and act crazy. Kind of like what you see on social media. And so we're going to make them laugh so hard that they laugh themselves to death. Okay? Great plan. So this is a Napi story, eh? So Napi, then the Kit Fox says he couldn't think of anything. He goes, I can't think of anything better than that. Oh yeah, go ahead. So pick my pick. So he's picking all of the Kit Fox's hair off, except for the tip of the Kit Fox. And yes, we do know that the Kit Fox is in the southwest and the coast, and the Swift Fox is where we're at. But remember, those of you only been here, I only been here 69 years. How do you know? Did you read that? Do you believe everything you read? So anyway, the Kit Fox goes up on the ridge, and sure enough, he gets up on his hind legs, and he's dancing, and the 4 bull buffalo look up at him, and they look up, and they're like, first they were gonna run, because when you see something you can't explain, your tendency is to run. Like if you saw a bunch of Republicans, you run. So anyway, they look up, and then they get curious. They go, wow, what is that? And he's like dancing, he's all his crazy antics and doing a couple flips, and they see this, and then the buffaloes start, they go, then the buffalo, they laughed, they got so exhausted, they laughed themselves to death. Okay, so that's the end of the story. There's versions of it. It's a Napi, it's like a coyote story, it's like a rabbit story. And so I'm going to invite our special guests, and we're going to talk about whatever we feel like, because this is Wellness Wednesday. I see some of you are laughing, right? And then we can kind of analyze it, but I love my brother here. We've been working together for maybe more than 30 years. Healing in diversity. So anyone darker than a paper bag, we've been working with. And we do work with those who are lighter than a paper bag, and those are our allies. We work with them too. So without further ado, I would like you to meet one of my best friends, and he's not a Kit Fox, eh? I'm not Napi. In fact, I would like you to meet Mark Harris. Come on in, Mark.
Halito, I am Siki Nititapi, which is Black Indian. in Blackfoot. I am a Bijago Choctaw Maroon. Bijago is a nation in West Africa, island nation, river nation, run by women who basically women run the markets, women select husbands, and they also field all women or mixed gender corps of warriors to resist slavery, and they are one of the ones that resist slavery. On the Choctaw side, my grandfather's father is on the freedmen rolls. And this is a funny story we're telling through at the Gona in Portland a couple of weeks ago. It's like, wait, I'm looking up great grandpa, and I find where grandpa is listed as one of the 8 to 10 kids, but I'm going, why are there like 50 George Washingtons? Did white folks run out of names or something? Like, why? There's so many among the quote unquote freedmen, among the 5 civilized tribes. So part of the message, because when Theta was talking about the trickster and their word, the Blackfoot word, thank you.
I get a coat.
All right. Blackfoot word for a certain type of folk is they really strong in trickster energy. So but they often have things that might be necessary for life if you ain't got those things yourself. So in order to get those gifts, which sometimes can be weapons, or they might have started out as gifts and they became weapons, you gotta learn both sides of the story and the backstory. So for example, I was listening on the radio this morning about Thanksgiving, right? And so part of a gift economy is a gift is something that's given to you whether you earn it or not. So you're given this gift and you just by existing, and part of that responsibility of being given something necessary for life is you return the gift of equal or greater value. So knowledge is a food. And so you should definitely try and learn the backstory of any gift that's given to you, as well as a thing that has become a weapon. So to be more explicit about that, I'm 50 years into a career in substance abuse prevention and treatment, as well as behavioral health. And lately, especially with the work that I've been doing with Theta and our homies for the last 30 or 40 years, we're into cultural recovery. And part of that cultural recovery is learning the backstory and the strength that we encountered before the phenomenon we know as white supremacy. So the idea behind that is that we learned how to live, especially on this continent, Turtle Island, and other continents like Alkebulan and China and Australia. We learned how to live before Western civilization had an alphabet to spell Western civilization. And so the farther we travel from that indigenous lifeway pattern, the sicker we get.
Wow.
And so part of that recovery is bringing that knowledge back. So it's not so much what the PhDs tell you, it's what your grandmother told you. And my grandmother told me such little aphorisms as, the pot can't call the kettle black, which probably doesn't make sense. But the idea is, I go back to a time, I'm pushing 70, so I go back to a time when being called black was a racial slur equivalent to the N-word. And that was because of racial self-hatred. And part of what the trickster teaches you to do is to hate yourself and try and be like the trickster that's lighter than a brown paper bag. All right? So when we talk about what's going to the transformation, or actually it's not really a transformation. It's the same old stuff that we have been living with for centuries. Basically, the Confederacy is controlling the White House and both houses of Congress, and can we expect them to act any different than lining their own pockets? And we need to keep our cultural wealth and the way that we can live optimally and practice that. Because, for example, I've, in my career in this field, COVID was the 6th pandemic, and the first one was AIDS. And so when you have someone that's telling you to shoot bleach and take animal tranquilizers to beat a virus, no, that's not what you need to beat a virus. You need to be scientifically literate, medically literate, and culturally literate, and understand, this guy is not telling us the whole story. Why is he telling us this story? And what is the ultimate goal of this story? So Thanksgiving, for example, when you look at the backstory of that, people came to Turtle Island, which had complex, I'm a city Indian, a city black person. I was raised black. We were kind of divorced from our native roots, and we lived in all black towns in the South because we had the choice, Cavalry, U.S. Cavalry, or Ku Klux Klan? Cavalry, Klan. Klan. Because you want to stay close to your adversary and study their ways so they're not used against you, or that you can avoid them. That's part of the gift of being able to resist infections and pandemics and addiction. So when we say, as Black Indians, addiction is slavery. People make money off of slavery. People make money off of addiction. The same financial infrastructure supported both. And so in order to escape that, you have to increase your literacy, your print literacy, your medical literacy, your cultural literacy, and practice being free. And teach others to do that as well. So part of the gift of Thanksgiving is understanding, when people come here from Europe, and as James Baldwin talked about, no, Europe didn't send their best and their brightest here. They were escaping, right? And they were pitiful, and they were on the verge of starving. So the native people, in a gift economy, gave them the gift of survival. How to grow food, how to fish, how to hunt, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, you can use as much land as you need, or for example, one of the stories is you can use as much land as a person can walk in a day. So the British hired distance runners. We didn't have a concept of real estate because you can't sell something that's alive. We don't believe in real estate, the king's land. The land is alive. You can't own sunshine. You can't own water. These are living things. This ain't your forest to clear cut. It's the 7th generation's forest. You can cut some down to make a longhouse for other people to gather so they learn a way of living that's optimal. But no, you don't clear cut. You don't, all the kinds of things that people who may be lighter than a brown paper bag, and people who have adopted the ways of those kinds of things, that a shortage capitalist economy, not a gift economy. You need to give the gift of life and preserve life so that it's not just here for you, it's here for everybody else, that those who have not come yet. So part of that Thanksgiving, where we're talking about the nation, the tribal nation that helped save the pilgrims, basically got slaughtered in a couple of generations. Is that gratitude? No, it's not. So part of the piece, in terms of learning to be thankful and grateful, is not only to try and give to those who have less than you, but teach them to be able to have the same attitude and the same practice wherever possible. Having a song, having a prayer, having a story, behind the story, being able to deal with tricksters. So when Theda talked about Anapi, and Anapi is a trickster, takes many forms. In Africa, we have Legba and Elegua. They're shapeshifters, male or female or beyond gender, sometimes taking the form of Brer Rabbit. So when you're talking about Joel Chandler Harris taking an unnamed black slave and the story that he told from Africa, and then becoming Disney and Brer Rabbit in the Song of the South, you could check out that video because it's kind of racist, but that's Disney for you. So it might have Pocahontas. It might have black princesses in New Orleans, but they're tricksters. I mean, I love me some Black Panther, but understand that they're portraying this as if it's a fantasy and that you should believe parts of it, where there is kind of a reality behind Wakanda. But I was talking about the trickster of Brer Rabbit. So Brer Rabbit lives in the briar patch. The briar patch is a place that's inhospitable. It's not safe. It's prickly. It's dangerous to be in there. But he has his rabbit hole, his place of safety, where he can learn and be strong and multiply underground, where there's danger outside the rabbit hole and outside and within the briar patch. His enemies can't get him. So Joel Chandler Harris talks about the tar baby, which is the equivalent of the N-word, just like black used to be considered the N-word because of racial self-hatred too, right? Then it was Negro, then it was colored, then it was the N-word gras. And then nowadays, they're just saying the N-word straight up, not even hiding the fact that they're racist. Okay, so for example, you have a woman talking about, I'm a black woman, a black and Indian woman, a woman whose ancestry comes from Kush, Africa, and Indus Kush, a very ancient alliance. Okay, so she's definitely black, as were Indians from India considered black by the British, right? And she's talking about, I'm going to help you buy a house, but you vote for a dude who tells you to shoot bleach and talks about Haitians eating cats? Yeah, okay. I watched a clip from Tim Wise this morning where he's talking about, no, the Obama years were a blip. America has been straight up racist for most of its existence in terms of demonizing people of color that helped you survive and help you survive people who build pyramid cities. That was the ancient alliance between Al-Kebulan and Turtle Island. Pyramid builders kick it with other pyramid builders. Chinese were here before Western civilization had an alphabet. Africans were here, pyramid building, coming over to, kick it with the other pyramid builders south of where we're standing now. Right? We don't build walls. We build attractions for people to come gather and learn from each other. That is part of our strength. That's what we should give thanks for, and also feed each other food for thought, because thought and action. So people should not be discouraged. Okay? We've been here longer than Western civilization had an alphabet. We taught them an alphabet. We taught them numbers to help be able to describe reality. And what do they come back with? Blood quantum. Well, I'm 1/32nd white. Do I have white privilege? Should I define myself by being 1/32nd white? Maybe not. Maybe nobody uses fractions to determine citizenship, especially if they're lighter than a brown paper bag.
Okay.
So learn the gift that was a weapon that you should turn into a gift. I'm drawing on the strength of all my ancestry. I can speak very well the language of accountants, that is English. But if I want to be able to talk about my spirit and the riches of that's within in terms of culture, I need to learn those languages as well that describe reality.
Hey, Mark, let me tell him about Napi. And then,
You want your
wait,
back?
no, I'm good. I'm good. Just, so, in, Nistu Amskapi Pikani, which is 1.5 million acres in Montana. So I was just thinking about, our base word for, Napiaki is, white woman. Napiquin is a white man, Napiquan. And just think about I was born in 1956, but my ancestors, came across Hudson Bay. They came across trappers on the Canadian side. And then my ancestors came across outlaws and almost like pirates. You saw Revenant, eh? Like that on the American side. But that was our reference to them, because we didn't judge them. We just saw that they were like Napi, and that they were a trickster. And so I want, just think about that in your language, all your answers in your language. That's why it's so important for us just to encourage everyone to speak their language, way beyond colors and numbers, but way just in the language. And so as we're here, we wanted to, because tomorrow in United States of America, and Mark and I we're privileged, because I was just thinking, man, I was privileged because I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area from the reservation. So I think I was liberated in a way that most people inland in the United States were not liberated. And it was a liberation of thought. It was a liberation that, Maslow gave a liberation of thought to many people after 1938, after living with the Blackfoot, Maslow. So this liberation of thought. So I was saying to myself, and this has to do with respect, because we're told to respect our elders. And, you know, in our elders, there's ones that have been transferred, you know, in our ones that have started out in Kit Fox Society, Mosquito Society, Ganaxtimadag, Brave Dog Society. On the American side, our family was part of the Slickfoot Society. And they would have their celebration, and it's kind of taken a pause every New Year's, you know, because our New Year is when the white blade, we see the green come up out of the ground, even out of the snow, or, you know, out of the ground. When we see that first blade of green grass, that's our New Year. So I was thinking, well, what does Thanksgiving mean? And it has changed since the pandemic. And that's what we've discussed with you. Our healing and our mental health with Native Wellness Institute has changed. Some people have forgot that we were in a post-traumatic extreme Holocaust effort where millions of people were denied the vaccine when the president at that time knew what was coming. September of 2019. And then it was withheld from a lot of Americans until much later, going into declaring March 2020. But it was withheld. He knew, and he allowed millions of you to die without warning you, without getting the vaccine, and without having the vaccine available. Just remember that. So that story that I told you about Napi and the Kit Fox, that story, think, you know, because like I was just, because I'm a person, you guys know I laugh a lot. I mean, because I see the humor in it all, and I believe it's our birthright to thrive and to live joy. And today I do believe that. You know, I have my good friend here. We're standing out in the cold because the family's they're getting ready for this Thanksgiving. And we'd have kids running and getting on all this, so we're doing it outside, and it feels really good here because I feel the fresh air, I feel the sapu, the wind, I feel the grounding here. This is where my brother lives, and you know, and I know he prays there. This is a very prayed over place. There's some prints from a sweat over there. There's just really good medicine here, and all my relatives, they all got their, you know, their Blackfoot name. And Nistudi Danako Makoyo Sokoi, you know, it's my second Blackfoot name, and I treasure it because sometimes when I go into different places, I act like a wolf. I observe everything, and they don't know I see everything. Because that's what Blackfoots do. They see everything. But is it my role to intervene on things that maybe aren't going quite right? Or do you just allow it to happen? Each case, you got to weigh it. But this Thanksgiving, so I respect my mom, who's 86 years old. And she's going to be arriving here in a few minutes, because it took a lot to bring her from driving through a snowstorm on the res to Great Falls, getting up at 3 a.m. to catch a 6:30 flight, flying to Denver, and then having hours of layover, then getting on another plane to come here, and to go through all of that so that she could have Thanksgiving dinner with her family and my brother. And so I've been here a few days. It was sunny when I got here. I came here for celebrating Holly Halsey's birthday. We're both the same age for a couple of months. We went out, and she likes lobster. So we got the last 4 lobsters, and the 2 lobsters weighed 4 pounds. She got one, and then I got 2 lobsters. And we feasted. We were just like eating lobster, dipping it in the butter. We had all the other stuff. Everyone was ordering. And then we had so much. We saved some and we had it for breakfast the next day. So that's what I call Thanksgiving. Lobster for dinner, lobster for breakfast, lobster for lunch. That could be a good song. Anyway, I've been here and it's someone must have sang a song, hey yeah, hey hey and brought on the weather here. Hey, Blue Thunder Teepee. Anyway, it's the weather because we need 4 seasons, and that's my Thanksgiving. Man, September 22nd at the equinox, I had so much gratitude, and it has just stayed in my heart. And then now we're moving towards December 21st, the solstice. And the solstice is always just invigorating. There's, get ready for your ceremonies. Do your every day, do your songs, but get ready now. I'm just having so much thankfulness. It made me think about Tom Porter. And before I invite my brother to kind of give us some more, the both of us here, there's this good energy, so we're just flip-flopping. But I remember Tom Porter coming to a gathering of Native Americans in New York City in 2010. And this is how you respect your elders. We had a 4-day agenda: Agona, belonging, mastery, interdependence, and generosity. But when he showed up on day 2. And we had him on the agenda from 9 to 10:30. He was going to be like a keynote speaker, Tom Porter. And Tom Porter's still alive. He's the traditional honorary elder in charge at Mohawk Nation. And so we gave him the floor. And when we gave him the floor, he took it seriously. We said, could you give us some lessons on thankfulness? 8 hours later. Okay, 8 hours later. So what you do is you push the agenda. 8 hours later, he did all of the ceremony around thanking the universe for what it has given us, thanking the air for what it has given us, thanking the water for what it has given us, thanking the earth, the Sagum. He just did the whole thing. It took about 8 hours. And out of respect, we let him take the 8 hours, eh? So I was just thinking to myself, but while I've been here, I realized I'm not in the Blackfoot territory. So I want to acknowledge, we're in a place where, well, most of the people I've seen, they're intermarried with the ones from the South. So they're speaking Spanish, they understand Spanish, and even their medicine, I call it pre-sticks, but they call it pala. It's a conquistadorous name. I thought, wow, these tribes here they're different in a good way. So I'm on their territory. So I came here. The first thing I did is, I lit a smudge and I asked permission to be here. And I feel like it's taken 5 days and I feel like it's okay for me to be here. But I ain't going to live here because I'm Blackfoot. And so I'm going to travel to my next, you're all welcome to, you can register. It's in person. It's in Pechanga, December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll be there doing a training. And then I think Dwight and Lori are going to be at White Mountain Apache. We're at several different places right now. And if you go to www.nativewellness.com, you'll see our events. We're inviting you. We're going to Hawaii in March. Minnie was just telling me, my sister-in-law, and we're the same age. We've known each other a long time. She said, when you get those chocolate-covered macadamians, she's never been able to find the ones like I bring from Hawaii. And I go, well, yeah, because they put the chocolate on the macadamias, and then I bring them to you. It's not like, all this, we have to put them in the box anyway. So I thought in coming here, it's because of my mother. She wanted to come here and she can't travel as much. And she wanted to have Thanksgiving with her son, her baby boy, who's 62 years old, going on 63. So that's what we're doing. We're abiding by our elders, and we're not bitching and complaining and making a fuss. We're gonna cook up a bunch of food. You know, Holly, same with her family. They're making ribeyes. They bought a whole bunch of ribeyes. They're making ribeyes for the. So I'm gonna go over there and steal one. Hey, Holly, I'm coming over and I'm gonna steal a ribeye because Blackfoots need ribeye. Anyway, anyway, before I invite Mark to have some closing comments on here, I just wanted to say, take care of yourself. Sleep good. Take care of yourself. Give gifts to yourself. Gifts of time. Gifts of the books you want to read. The television. You know what I did? I'm binged on. I never have time to watch screen. I don't. And I've been watching a series and I binged. I very rarely get to do that. So I was binging on this series because I think it will help me after January 20th. It's about it's about the prohibition and all the tricks that they played so women couldn't get the vote from 1920 to 1924. So I'm watching this show because in a way I'm studying Napi Gowan. I'm studying Napi Quinn. I'm studying Napi Yaki because we're going to be here after no matter what happens, but I'm not sure that you're going to be here. That's all I got to say. So Mark, you want to come and give us some closing comments? We'll let, and it doesn't he look good in my coup coat? Okay, so Mark, it's all yours.
A coup coat, huh?
Yeah, it's my coup coat.
Okay. Not only practice gratitude, practice remembrance, practice silence.
Oh.
Because when Yeshua, Isho, that his mama called him, Isa in the Quran, one of the gifts that my grandfather gave me is Jesus is black. His name's not Jesus. Christianity's an African religion, indigenous African religion. There's a sacred feminine. And when he's praying the so-called Lord's Prayer, Abun de Boash Maya, birther, you create all that moves in light. So the people that killed him, definitely lighter than a brown paper bag, hijacked his religion. So when he talked about prayer in Aramaic, his language, it's breath, it's the wind, it's moving water like waves or a river. You connect yourself and it's everywhere for free. So when I talked about, a gift economy is you are given things that are necessary for life just for existing. You don't have to earn them, but they are given to you so that you can give back and continually give back. So when Yeshua talks about praying, it's watching your breath and staying silent so you can hear. Shut up and listen. Watch your breath. Breathe in the Spirit, breathe out the Spirit. Listen to the silence, which isn't silent. Be grateful and give the gifts that need giving. Even if they're not listening, you can watch them, say, yeah, you might want to rethink that before you do it. I need to hear that lesson. But practice gratitude, practice your breath, practice getting rest, food for thought, and may you always be hungry for knowledge.
Thank you, Mark. So we just wanted to come to you today. Welcome to Native Wildness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. We used to come to you 7 days a week. You can invite him out. We came to you 7 days a week, 5 days a week. You can come and listen. We're live. You want to come on, say something?
Uh, I'm just looking for grandma.
I don't know where Grandma is.
Okay.
Okay. My little nephew. Anyway, I was gonna invite him on. He's so in this Wellness Wednesday, we wanted to come to you just so I want to say a couple things. I know we're still numbed out, some of us, or some of us are forming coalitions, some of us are moving into action after the election earlier this month. And then some of us are we're going through, if we are in a place where it snows and there's winter, we're going just like Napi, and we're not quite ready. We're getting ready. We're also on our reservation. We're getting ready for res ball. You know, we got a res ball cross country. We're getting ready for a lot of celebratory stuff. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving powwow, and you're all welcome to come to Standoff, Alberta, December 25th, and celebrate with us. That's what we do every year. It's a social powwow put on by the Ixkanaks, the Horns, and everyone. It's not like it's not competitive. Everyone gets something. There's gifts, and that's kind of how a lot of native celebratory events happen. So we wanted to, you know. So I was thinking to myself, I'm taking this vacation. I don't have to work until December 3rd, but I'm going to take some extra vacation because I came here with my family. You know, I'm listening, which means we put the phones down. But I noticed some of my family cannot put the phones down, and so one of them, my family members here, is going to be in a spelling bee contest, and so I asked them to look up dopamine. It's for dopamine addiction. Yeah. And so anyway, dopamine, because you know that screen, that seductive looking at your screen all the time, it numbs you out and you're not living real life. If you're on the screen all the time, you're not living real life. So I think the rest of my vacation, I'm gonna try to live. You know, I'm gonna the Bosque. I've been going for walks. They got goats here. They're eating all the extra. I saw the Rio Grande. I put some medicine out, and it's flowing. The Rio Grande. There's water here, and that made me so happy because some of this is just sand. There isn't much water here, and you know, so pray for water. Put your tobacco in the water. Thank the water for being here. You know, even when you have captured water in a bottle, put a little out and to give to your ancestors, a little drink to your ancestors before you drink. Be Express gratitude. And I think, you know, I'm gonna go. I think I'm flying into Ontario. I'm just gonna go walk out on the land. I'm gonna walk down to the beaches. I'll be at Pachanga. Our team will be most of our team will be there, and I'm just gonna enjoy this because I'm gonna go back to the snow. You know, I had to order 1,500 gallons of propane. I left my thermostat at 64 in my house so the pipes don't freeze. I got enough. My little nephew's chopped enough wood for 2 months there. I also have to, you know, I have kerosene in case everything goes out. I have a wood stove. I get prepared for winter and I love it. I love it. It is not hardship. It's about being nistu natsitapi, nistu amskapi pikani. It's about keeping the teachings, like at the NWI, the teachings of our ancestors alive. And so I'm encouraging you, you know, to make amends. You know, someone you haven't talked to or someone you regret to see, give them a call and tell them you love them and that you'd like to start over, rebuild. And I just want to give a shout out to Kainai Nation because today is the last part of their election. Lori and Casey Nicholson, we were on the Blood Reserve. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for listening to us about lateral kindness instead of lateral violence. Thank you for listening to having wellness in the workplace. Thank you for listening to us with the power of positive thinking. And so I just want to give a shout out to Kainai because they're electing 10 people were running for chief. They'll elect their new chief and they'll elect the other 12 that they'll have new leadership. But this is what they did. They had online voting on Monday and Tuesday so that they could get every member. They had early voting, and today is at 8 o'clock. That's the end of the voting, and then tomorrow you'll know the new 13. That is true sovereignty. That is true democracy. That is true fairness, is to get everyone to vote. And so those of you who didn't vote, shame on you. God dang. You messed it all up. No. And those of you who voted and want to change your mind, guess what? You can't unless that's a new. I've been hearing some people say, I want to change my vote. They voted red or whatever, and they want to go blue. But you can't. But what you can do is change your mind to be kinder. You can change your mind to help people. And if you do have some kind of wealth, give some of it away. Gift presents. Give something to the food bank. Give a buffalo to the food bank. If you have a buffalo, give it to the food bank. I might have a buffalo soon and an elk. And I was thinking, just give your words of encouragement as a gift. Read your favorite poem. I've been buying Percy Bullchilds When the Sun Came Down and just gifting him. Just give, and as Mark said, you have 2 of these and 1 of these. 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. Just listen to that silence. And so we're at a really beautiful place. It's a little bit chilly. We're gonna go sit inside, have a cup of tea, and finish our visiting. But so I just wanted to encourage you to enjoy the holidays. It's a tough go for a lot of people with unresolved grief. Enjoy the holidays and just give hug therapy. Give listening therapy. Give some of your time. And that's what we're doing here. So that'll be Native Wellness for this Wednesday. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Kitakito Matsuno.